Item number 12, discuss and consider any action related to real property lease, sublease, or value regarding Young County Arena. Brandon, Neil, y'all like to come up here? Tell us what you're looking for, or what you're...
Well, just sent that full lease over here. We've been negotiating that lease. It's with, essentially with AT&T. We put an AT&T cell tower out there on the county land that has been leased to the city for, I think, a little over 15 years under the original lease agreement for the arena. So that's why we forwarded it to you. AT&T scoured over the lease, and essentially we need the county's permission to be able to put that cell phone tower there. So that's why we forwarded the lease to y'all for your review.
So you're saying we either need to give you permission or authority to act on our behalf, or we need to be a party to the contract?
Well, there's places in there for y'all to sign
Well, one of the
as the landlord.
The opening statement here says that, entered into, by the city of Graham, having mailing address landlord. And New Singular Wireless, Delaware Limited Liability Company, having such and such mail address as the tenant. I don't know, I guess that should.
The subletting of the city to AT&T or their agent.
That's in essence, allowing the city to act for us.
I mean, I wouldn't term it that way. I would say that you're consenting to the subletting of the lease.
Yes, Brandon emailed me some time ago, several months. I told him what I thought I could run in the county. I haven't actually heard back from him until early December. And, I was looking through that, I felt like we should be a party to the contract. And obviously, we are a beneficiary of the county. Programs throughout there, they have those leaders for 4-H program to share equally in that. We've had a discussion with regard to those issues here. Some of us think that no consideration, some of us think, yeah, that's a good idea, so we don't know.
Well, and I'll kind of interject if you don't mind. In that original lease agreement is with the Young County Junior Livestock Association being afforded some rights to the arena, which is the use for the Stock Association. We need to probably understand and differentiate. The Young County Junior Livestock Show is a totally separate entity. They are not 4-H or FFA involved. They put on the stock show for the 4-H and FFA. So I didn't respond back to your response that half the money should go to the 4-H Leaders Association, because I don't really think that should even be considered as an option. I was on the 4-H Leaders Association, and I don't think our sole purpose, we don't, and I think if you go back and look, the seed money was raised by the Stock Show Association. There was some other people that donated, probably the county put in some money, probably the 4-H did put in some money, but I know the gist of it, talking to Zach Burkett, was put together by the Junior Livestock Association. So I guess if I were in your shoes and I were a counter, I would say make sure half those funds go to the Young County Junior Livestock Association. my plan for every bit of the revenue that comes off this is to put it right back in the arena, which benefits 4-H and FFA youth. They use it every weekend out there. And I guess if we really want to talk about revenue sharing, then we could also probably discuss expense sharing. We've been over in the last 7 years, which is just the data that I can pull together, the city's the overage at the arena has been $1.3 million. We've also been paying off to the tune of $133,000 a year of bond payment. The original arena was given to the city, and then there was a bond done to add on about $1.2 million to that facility to be able to add stalls and to be able to add an outback arena, which the city has invested heavily in that arena. So if the discussion is, well, we feel like that they should get half of the funds because they put up half of the original seat money, I understand that, but if you wanted to share on the expenses, then we're probably into it about $3 million. So if you're worried about the $9,000 that would come off of this, the annual income off this revenue, then you know, that there needed to be a better discussion over the last 15 years and how that is handled. So, long story short, yes, it's a cell tower which benefits the community, which benefits everyone that drives by there. I think we'd all admit that AT&T doesn't have great coverage over a portion of Young County. And in return, they get $1,500 a month, which is $18,000 a year, which my hope would be we would be able to sink back into the arena, which is the plan. The GEIC is a board that I'm accountable to. They have charged me with, we got to see a reduction in the overage. So I'm charged with making sure that we figure out how to reduce the overage out there that we've got as an annual charge. So my hope would be this revenue would help do that, but also make improvements to our arena that will continue. We've got a 15-year-old barn, is what it counts to. That thing didn't stay just like it was when y'all gave it to us. So we are continually putting M&O in it. Probably as soon as we get this bond paid off, you know, the GEIC is going to be happy not to be paying a bond payment, but at the same time, we probably need to look at a maintenance and operation bond and go back in and reinvest in what we've got. It's an asset for our county and our community. We believe the cell phone tower would be beneficial. I know there's been a lot of discussion about it. I try to back way off of things and see things from a wide viewpoint. I don't think it's that difficult. I think it's a cell tower that benefits our community and it's revenue that goes back into the arena. We can discuss this item or that item. If there's some issues within the lease that need to be corrected or adjusted, Dan's worked on that with AT&T's attorneys we've been working on it about a year. So I don't know what more I can offer. That's a little bit of information.
So what you're saying, Brandon, I'm sorry, what you're saying is like, the 4-H isn't really the leaders group isn't really the people that really need money.
Well, given half the money to the 4-H Leaders Association would be like giving half the money to the FFA Booster Club. You know, that their charge is to go raise funds for that.
Well, and
youth
that's
organization.
kind of what Jimmy was saying earlier. So
But the
like-
Young County Junior Livestock Show Association, and talking with Zach Perkins, was the original group that had the seed money started to build a new stock show fairgrounds.
And that's where some of that money would go.
Well, long story short, I'll be honest with you, my kids stock show and I've never rodeoed, but that facility is geared towards rodeo events, horse-related events. There is not an ideal situation. I mean, the first year that they had it, they housed the hogs out there on what I call the west wing that wasn't covered and they froze to death. So now it's always been a battle back and forth depending on who's managing, but we put them down in the arena on the dirt. We have to lay tarps down. I mean, my ultimate dream would be able to go back and directly help the Stock Show Association and be able to close in that west wing. One thing it would be able to do for years, I mean, those panels that sit there and they've not been stored well, they get placed out in the weather, and so that would put an all-weather storage just for $18,000, 1 year's rent of this facility. We could cover that in the walls. We could put in walls and roll-up doors. Eventually go in, put on spray-on insulation, heating tube and a fan in there, and then we've got a very nice stock show barn to house hogs on, so we don't have to worry, but sheep and goats up there too. The steers would want to stay down where it's cold, because that's what they prefer, but
I know that's kind of your passion too.
selfishly, that's where I'd like to take it. The neat thing about this opportunity I've had was when I first got here, my mayor at the time, Jack Graham, put me in charge of the city working with the school district to help build a facility that was gonna cost the school district between 1.2 and $1.8 million, and we were able to help them out by providing some of the labor, and they built that facility for about $500,000.
Like I said, I know that's kind of your passion too, as a kid, the 4-H, FFA, and all that stuff, so. Well, that's good, I'm glad it's gonna be going and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would stay right in the arena. It's not gonna get passed into any other department.
The 4-H adult leaders organization could donate to that cause.
Yeah, but if you're also giving those funds, then they have the ability not to donate to. But I've been on that adult leaders association that you're discussing, and it was pulling teeth to give a senior a scholarship one year, because so if you're giving that, is that an audit of the county, you know? No. So public funds going to an outside account that we're not aware whether it's audited or not. I would like to not have to become hamstrung by that. You know, to me, if we're investing in the arena, it's used by our Young County youth along with lots of other youth statewide that come in there and utilize it.
Being that the county owns the property out there, do you not think it's a good faith effort on our part to give y'all that, and then we keep having to do as we see fit?
Let me say something, if I might, Judge, about how I don't think there were any commissioners as to when the arena was originally built and what transpired at that time, which was the county came to the city and said, we can't handle this. We can't manage it. We don't have the money to do this. Will you take that over? And we did. And we went to the voters, and they voted through the Economic Development Corporation to help build the second half of the arena back there and to support the underage or overage, whatever you want to call it, as far as the expenses and revenue go. So the county, in essence, said, come help us, and we reached out there and we said, yes, we would. And so,
Neil, I was on that group, I don't recall ever having that discussion here on the board, but maybe some of the board members did come to the city to do that. I don't recall that being.
well, ultimately, that's how the agreement that you have is there, Judge.
Oh, I see the agreement. It eventually did get to the court in that form. I would have been discussing that before. What's the pleasure of the court here?
Answer to my original question, do you not see a good faith effort on our part to give y'all that and the county keep that?
So what you're saying is you believe you're owed all of it essentially because you're a landowner. You also, in item 6 of that lease, have given us the ability to manage that property. You know, did we share the expenses for the $1.2 million bond out there? Did you guys offer to pay half that?
I don't think that pertains to the actual running of the facility.
Really?
Clause number 6.
Well, if it's your land, you know, it's a facility that's quite a headache for me if it's something the county wishes to take back over. I mean, that's something that both boards have discussed at times. It is a hard pill to swallow, and it's a great asset for our community. I guess the longer, deeper I get in this conversation, I'm shocked that we're having this discussion over $18,000 that'll go back into that arena. Big picture, it's been in an AT&T tower that benefits our citizens. We can find another lane to put it on. It won't be a problem. I've got the contact information for that guy, and we put a year's worth of work into this, but we'll find other land close, it won't be a big issue.
I think what we should do, I mean, we and you, we're all a community, we should work together. And I think what you're saying is correct. That money's going back into where it's going. I don't have a problem with that. And, I mean, we're not working for us, we're working for them. And that's who we should be thinking about, not us. And who gives a crap about a contract and how it's working? We care about those people out there. And that's what we should be doing right now. That's what this is about. That's my opinion.
And I agree the same thing, you know, in the scheme of this, it's going back into a return, it's gonna benefit everybody. The whole county, the people that come into our county. And, you're stepping over pennies, you know, but it's just, I look at it as a reinvestment. And I think it's a perfect idea, a perfect plan, that's thinking outside the box, try to get something just to work with, and to get out of the red into the black if possible. There's a greater benefit here than $18,000 you do to anything else for $9,000 with it.
I don't think it's gonna break any of us.
It ain't gonna make, it'll make,
If it is, we're in trouble.
I agree. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Anything further?
I make a motion that we allow them to have the full amount of the $18,000 a year, reinvest it back into the arena, and for the benefit of the whole community, and for the people that come into our community to enjoy it.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Pruitt to authorize the city to enter into a contract with,
Singular. New Singular Wireless ECS LLC.
was that gonna be with AT&T Mobility, or is it gonna be with New Singular Wireless? New Singular Wireless, LLC.
ECS LLC.
So pretty much piggyback off each other anyway, don't
They're all owned by the same, that's the same umbrella.
They do that so the tire don't happen to don't affect the rest of the system.
And to receive all benefit. I guess that's all that. Okay, like that.
If I could, are you also allowing for that motion to authorize signatory powers on the county's level on this agreement?
Yes, sir.
I didn't have that right.
For signatory powers for where the county needs to sign that, to duly authorize that agreement.
For y'all to do that?
No, for y'all,
For y'all.
For us.
county's behalf.
For our county to have, we would have to sign.
Designate someone for signatory powers from the county's behalf.
Okay. Any other further discussion? All in favor? I'm gonna go for it. Okay, that's 4-0. Noted the commissioner. Aside, not correct.
I've got a question for the county attorney. Do you agree with not having us on the, as being the leaser, going through us and giving them a power of authority to sign off for us?
Well, I think that you you can certainly give them the power to sign off on that. I think it would be cleaner on the contract for them to be included, named as the landowner with them being the lessee, but, I mean, I think either way it'd be just fine.
Very good. All voted on that, 4-0, noting that one member of the board not present.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Thank y'all, for what y'all doing.
Thank you, appreciate y'all very much.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. He said.
I don't know, did I make a motion, did you make one?
I'm motion.
Yeah. It don't make me any difference.
Actually, he didn't want to make one.
I made, did he second?
Yeah,
Alright, you don't even know what you're doing.
I know. I'm just ready to.
You know how to get, you know how to get home, I don't think.
I don't know. Chris gave me some medicine. I'm making delusional here.
Okay. We got one little problem here.
I'm gonna get a little pad on Mark.
This one
I love those pads.
was a
Man, I got some more to pick up, man, if you need to leave them some, whatever, I just scatter them out.
back in August. And now you're trying to put Wilson on it.
Y'all have a Merry
So you
Christmas,
want to
guys.
contact Wilson and say, Brendan,
And a Happy New Year. I guess we'll see y'all till next year. Will
this says FTA Washington, and this is an exhibition. That's the only thing different. Same
Mark
case.
Stacy and I'm thinking she needs to start going out in those laws.
Well,
So I
Is it a up?
have you seen the profit margin?
Hey, you know, we budget by dollar amount, so you're selling less ton.
I know.
You know, if we're doing it by the ton, you have the advantage, but you're not getting the advantage.
I usually do. I'm about to give a third truckload.
Yeah, you should have started programs, you know?
Donation program.
We're trying to talk him
into it.
I think I'm getting beat up here a little bit, or something, you know?
I guess they were so far apart, I thought